How do you feel about that? How do you feel about that?
My wife is right. You don't know what's wrong with you. Sit. Sit. Come here. Sit. Come on. You got it. You got it. Keep going. She gets come here. Come on. Perfect. Nailed it. So, come here. Come on. Come on. Yeah. Hey, sit. Come on. Good hair, shoot. Good girl. That's a good girl.
I don't know how to do it, right? So that I'm like,
Yeah. And it's really small. It's not a big, just a full thing. Don't think about it. Hi.
Good morning.
Morning. We're going to use a chair today.
Okay. Oh, that dog looks nice and comfortable stretched out on the couch.
Oh, yeah. He wanted to be part of class today.
Yeah, perfect.
So we're gonna use a chair today. A chair like this, like a kitchen chair. If you have one without arms, that is preferable. There's one more person. Okay. We're going to use a chair to start with. If you have one without arms, that is preferable. All right. We'll go ahead and get started once Linda comes back. Everybody's here. So we're going to start seated. And let's start with our feet underneath our knees. Sits bones heavy into the ground or into the chair. And we're just stacking our spine up nice and tall to start. So feel the sits bones anchored, the rib cage over the pelvis, the head over the rib cage. You can have your arms either just resting on your thighs or hands on your hips, whichever works for you. Imagine you have two paintbrushes on the ends of your sits bones, and we're gonna paint two stripes. Good morning. We're gonna use a chair today. So you're gonna paint two stripes parallel to each other on your chair. So with your sits bones. So you're sending both sits bones forward and then both sits bones back. Both sits bones forward, both sits bones back. And just feeling how that movement of the pelvis affects the rest of the spine. And so the spine's going to respond to the movement of the pelvis with movement all the way up, but we want to make sure that we're initiating with movement in the pelvis. And a couple more times. And then pause with your weight right over your sits bones. Let me go ahead and mute everybody. I forgot to do that. Sorry. I'm like perpetually forgetting to do that. Okay. All right. So next, we're going to move on to the rib cage. So same idea. We're stacked in our spine. Now we're going to initiate the movement through our rib cage. So rib cage goes forward and back. And again, it's going to affect the rest of the spine. So So you'll feel the movement translate down into the pelvis and up into the head, but really we're focusing on initiating with this middle part of the spine, sending the ribs forward, sending the ribs back. And one more time like that. And then stack everything back up. And then we'll do our head. So our head will go down and up and back. And this one doesn't, pardon me, affect the rest of the spine as much. It's easier to just isolate the head. And one more of those. And then stack your head on top of your spine. So everything is nice and stacked. And we're going to take our leg out to the side. It doesn't matter which leg you start with. And we're going to side bend up and over towards it. And then we're going to take that hand and we're either going to put it on the ground or on the chair, whichever range of motion is available to you. And lift up and over here. And then use your obliques to lift you back up. So sits bone drops heavy into the ground or into the chair, and then up and over. And we'll do 2 more of those, moving through a little quicker. So coming down, keep the outside foot on the ground, and then anchor that foot as you use your obliques to lift you back up and over the top. And one more time. Up and over, controlling the lowering to the ground, and then outside foot stays heavy, sits bone drops to the chair to come up and over for one more big stretch over. Go ahead and put both hands on your knee and just rotate your spine, looking back towards the back shoulder. And then roll it through the center and we'll switch legs. Other leg reaches out. I'm keeping this leg on the ground as let's go towards the leg first. Let's stretch up and over. And then we're going to take the hand to the ground, other arm up, keeping that foot heavy. And then anchor through your outside leg as you come up with the obliques and over the top. And again, we'll move through a couple more, a little quicker. Coming up and over. Reach, ground through the foot. Use the obliques to bring you back. And over. And one more time. Controlling down. Anchoring the foot. Drawing the sits bone towards the chair. Bringing back up. And stay here. Put both hands on your shin. And twist, look back past that back shoulder. And then we'll roll your spine up. And let's take the legs out a little wider from each other. Sending the toes out on the diagonal. We're gonna do a wave through the spine. So we're gonna start by sending our sits bones back and our hip bones forward. So it's a little pelvic tilt. And then my ribs are going to follow, and then my head is going to follow. Everything curls forward, and then I'm dropping my sits bones towards the chair to ground the pelvis and around back up through the spine. And again, pelvis tips forward, ribs tip forward, head tips forward. Sits bones towards the chair to ground and round yourself back up. And tipping forward. Articulating through the spine, all the way down, and then sits bones anchor, articulating back up through the spine and the top of the head. 2 more. Undulating forward, and rolling. And undulating forward, and roll it. All right, once we get to the top, stack everything back up. Take your feet a little wider. You're gonna put weight into your feet and think about your head being drawn up to the ceiling to hover your pelvis up off the chair. We're gonna tap our seat to the chair and then lift right back up. Little tap and up. Now, if this range of motion is not available to you, then start standing and then just come down to wherever you can and come back up, okay? Either tapping, lifting.
Errin, you have stalled. Errin,
I'm gonna go ahead and text her and see if we can get through that way. I'm sure she can see that she's lost us. Can you hear me, Patricia?
Hello? Hey,
Yeah.
you guys see? Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, I don't really know what's happening with my internet, but hopefully it's staying put and we'll keep going. Okay, let's see, where were we? We were squatting. We were squatting up and down on our chair. So, all right, so let's come back to our wide position with our legs. Let's come up, we'll do 5 more, either from standing or from this kind of hovering height, whichever works for you. We'll do 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then come back to sitting all the way down. We're gonna lift one heel off the ground and lower, and then lift the other heel and lower. Alternating heels and up. Pushing through the ball of the foot. Try to feel that calf muscle engaged to pull the heel up and up. Let's do one more time each side and up. Now we're gonna put weight into the feet, come back up to our hovered position, wherever you can maintain, and then we'll do one heel at a time here. Heel lifts, another heel. Staying low in your plie. Good. And one more time each side. And then lower the seat back down. And then we're gonna lift both heels up and both heels down. Think of sending those heels forward so you're feeling the rotation in the hip socket. And up. And 3 more. And 2. And 1. And I'm sure you've all guessed what's coming next. Come into your hover and both heels up and down here. Trying to maintain that low position of the pelvis as the heels lift and lower. And up. And up. 2 more times. Last time. And then lower the pelvis all the way back down and bring your legs back to front. We're gonna Find our feet again underneath our knees here. I'm going to take my whole spine, kind of maintaining this neutral position, and tip it forward. So I'm hinging at my hips. I'm going to take my arms up and forward, so I'm reaching on that diagonal. And then I'm putting weight into my feet to come up. And then tap my hips back down here. And up. And tap. Belly button is drawing into the spine to support this position. Five more times. Keep thinking, head reaching up and forward. 4, 3, and again, going down only to the point where you can maintain and it's not bothering your knees. One more time, and then sit the pelvis back down gently, no plopping, sitting up nice and tall. We're gonna keep our sits bones even on the chair. Float your right knee up. We're gonna flex that foot as we straighten the knee all the way, so pull up on the quad, and then relax the foot or point the toe as you bring it back in. Flex the foot, extend the leg, point the toe, bring it back in. And flex, extend, point, bring it in. Make sure you maintain the length through your spine so we're not collapsing as we straighten the leg. Finding the space between the ribs and the hips. 3, 2, and 1. And put that foot down. Other side. Float the knee up and extend the leg. And bring it. And extend. Still feeling that lift through the middle of the torso here. If you feel like you don't have enough length in the back of your leg or your spine, just lower the leg down a little bit so that you can maintain the length of your spine as you straighten the leg. 2 more times. Feel that pull up of the patella of the kneecap as you extend your leg. Good. And then put that foot down. Now, we're going to reach our arms forward again. We're going to feel that extension of the spine from the head to the tail. Push down into the feet, come up, hover, stay there. You're going to take your right foot forward and back in, tapping. Stay on that side, tap. So left leg is stabilizing you. We're just tapping that foot out, and 2, and 1. Put that foot down, shift your weight over the right leg, send the left foot out, tap and tap, tap and tap. Good, keep reaching head to tail. And 2, and 1, put that foot down, and then gently sitting the tailbone back down on the chair. Arms can come down. Very nice. All right, let's stand all the way up. We're gonna turn our chair to face it. Let me adjust my camera. Okay, so we're gonna put our hands on the chair. Our feet are underneath our hips, and we're gonna take our hips back and our arms forward. And you can put your hands either on the sides of the chair or on the front of the chair, whatever is most comfortable for you. Taking a breath here. We're gonna round our spine up and forward, hug the armpits in towards the body, and send some weight into the hands, keeping a rounded spine. So it's like your elephant position. And then send the hips back. We'll do that a couple more times. So rounding through the spine, take some weight into the hands, wrap those armpits in towards the rib cage, and then send the hips back and the head forward. And again, rounding up through the spine, belly button is lifting, maintaining that rounded position with the weight into the hands, and then sending the hips back. This time we're going to stay forward. So rounding through the spine, taking the weight into your hands, hug those armpits in, and then from here we're going to lift the heels up and lower the heels down. So isolating just that heel lift. And heels lift And lift. 3 more. So that lifted the pelvic floor, lifted the low abdominals to bring the heels up. Then we're going to stay up there, and we're going to take the right leg up and back as the right leg lifts the head and the tail extend away from each other. So I'm in a long line from my head all the way to my toe, and I'm going to pull my knee in, round my spine, try to bring my forehead all the way to my knee. Extend head and toe away from each other, and then knee and head in towards each other. And reaching away, and bring it in. And away, and bring it in. And away, stay there, lower your standing heel, tap your toe to the ground and lift. Tap and lift. Even weight in both hands, using the glute muscle to lift that leg up, not your back. So really feel that your glute squeezes to lift the leg up. Stabilizing your torso. 2 and 1. Bring that leg all the way down. Sit the hips back and the head forward for a little stretch. Round up through your spine. Again, taking weight into the hands, tugging the armpits in towards the body. Lift both heels. And then reach your head and your toe away from each other. And pull the knee in to the forehead, rounding and extending. And rounding and extending. I'm trying to keep my hip bones facing the ground, so I'm not opening up that hip as I kick the leg back. I'm trying to stay parallel to the ground. And then stay back there this time. Lower your standing heel, and then down with the leg and up. Torso stays right where it is. So keep your standing heel low. So we're not lifting that heel off the ground. You're just lifting your leg up. And 2, and 1, and then bring it back down. Let's sit the hips back for a stretch. And this time we're going to round. We're going to come all the way through into a plank position. If you need to walk your feet out a little bit, make sure that your chair is on a non-stick or non-sliding surface. Yeah, so make sure not to slide. Put your hands are into the seat of the chair. Your heels are lifted off the ground, and your head and your heels are in line with each other. And from here, we're just going to do one leg at a time. Little lift and lower. Little lift and lower. So we're alternating legs. I'm thinking of keeping the rest of my body still as I isolate the glute on the side of the leg that I'm lifting. Keep your rib cage drawing up towards the ceiling. 3, and 2, and last time. And then sit the hips back, head forward. And then just let the weight come into your feet. Walk your hands off the front of the chair. Let your arms and head hang. And then round up through your spine, softening your knees, stacking one vertebrae at a time. And then step forward towards your chair and put one foot on top. And we're going to keep the weight in the back leg. So imagine that your back is stacked up against a wall, back of the head, back of the ribs, back of the pelvis, back of the heel. All of that stays against the wall as you just slide the heel up and down. So I'm imagining that I'm just sliding up a wall with my body and down a wall with my body. So I'm not shifting my weight forward like this to come up. And I'm keeping my body connected to that wall behind me. And 4, 3, 2, and 1. And we're going to stay lifted on that heel, and we're going to lift and lower our heel that's on the chair. Lift and lower. And lift and lower. Maintaining the balance, stacked over that standing leg. 2 more. And then I'm going to leave my heel, the foot on the chair lifted, and I'm going to lower my standing heel and lift. Lowering, lifting my standing heel now with this heel also lifted. So it's a little bit more of a balance challenge. Make sure that the weight stays in the middle of the ball of the foot that's on the chair. It's not rocking over to one side or the other. And then we're going to stay up there. We're going to pause with our bodies. We're going to kind of keep our bodies still and just turn the head. Turning the head one direction, back to the center, and then turn the head the other direction. And back to the center, and then lower that heel down, and shake the leg out, and we'll do the other side. So putting the foot up on the chair, again, finding that stacked feeling of your back of your body against the wall, and then sliding up that wall, and back down. Making sure, again, that we're not rocking forward into the front leg before we lift the heel off the ground. Good. Make sure your chin is level here. So maybe a little tuck of the chin if you feel like you're sending your head up and forward. See if you can bring it back right over your spine. Good. Now we'll leave that heel lifted and then lift and lower the heel on the chair. And again, rolling right in the center of that foot between the second and third toe. Three more. And 2. And 1. And then leave that heel where it is. Lower and lift your standing heel. And if you want, you can play with your arm placement here. You can take your arms up to the ceiling or out to the side. Feeling the whole back chain of the body working from the heel up to the base of the skull. And 2. And 1. Pause with that heel lifted, and then just turn your head. And center, and turn, and center, and then lower your standing heel and shake your leg up. Excellent. Okay, turn your chair to face the front. We're going to do one more thing with the chair. So this is where it helps to have a chair with no arms, because we're going to lay across it sideways. You have a couple of options here. Let me just put the camera. So the first option, the easiest option, is to keep your foot on the ground, your inside foot on the ground, and have your hands resting on your chair here. And then you're going to do things with your legs in this position. Next option is to have the hand all the way on the ground and have the bottom knee staying bent for more support. And then the most advanced option is to have both legs long and arm on the ground for support. So you're gonna have to roll your hip a little bit forward so that you can get your hips stacked here, right? We don't want the hips sitting back. Stacked up nice and straight. And then think about wrapping up underneath that armpit of the arm that you have weight into. From here, we're gonna send our heel up towards the ceiling and lower down. So not the toes, but the heel, right? I want the leg almost inwardly rotated. So Patricia, turn your toes to face the ground. Yeah, and then lead with your heel. Yeah, so it's parallel. The work is more back here rather than in the front of your hip. Yeah. Good. Making sure you're not collapsing through your bottom waist here as you lift that leg up. 3 more. more. And 2. And 1. And then we'll circle the leg. Circle. And 3. And 2. And 1. Reverse. And 2. And 1. And then go ahead and bend both knees. Let's extend the outside leg along the ground, and we'll do our side stretch like we did earlier. And then lifting up and swiveling to the other side of the legs. Other hip on the chair. And again, you have your options as far as where you want to start. Find your starting position. Really pushing down into that hand to draw up underneath the armpit, up underneath the bottom waist, and then we'll take our heel up towards the ceiling. So my knee and my toes are really, really pointing straight forward, and I'm lifting with my heel. Almost like I'm sliding my heel up a wall that's behind me. And then reaching out through that top leg. Make sure your toes not going up towards the ceiling. There you go. Good. 2 more. And then let's circle that leg. Circle up and around. Stabilizing on the chair. And then reverse. Three, and 2, and 1. And bend the bottom knee. And we'll take our top leg out for a stretch. Good. And then come on up through the center. And we'll set our chair off to the side. And we're going to come lying down in the middle. Okay, so once you get to your back, take a second to arrive. And you can just take some breaths here. Allow the rib cage and the pelvis and the head to be heavy. Good. Let your shoulders just widen away from each other. And then we're going to take our arms and float them up to the ceiling. Allow for the top of the arm bone to be heavy into the socket and the back of the shoulder to be heavy into the ground. And we're going to arc the arms back behind us, keeping our rib cage anchored. Circle the arms out to the side, towards the feet. As you reach the arms forward, nod your chin to your chest. Find a little upper C curve. And then lower the head down as the arms reach up and back behind you. And circle around. And reach forward. Nod your chin to your chest. Float the head. Reach the fingers. And lower back up. And we'll do that a couple more times. Circling the arms as the arms come forward. Find that chin nod and that upper C curve. And lowering down. And nod. Float. And lowering down. And one more time with the arms in that direction. Nod. Float. And lowering down. Pause with your arms up to the ceiling. And we're going to reverse. So we'll take the arms forward, nod the chin to the chest, reach towards the feet. And as you lower your head, arms circle around and back up to the ceiling. And reach the arms and the head forward. And circle the arms around as you lower your head. And a couple more like that. Floating up and lowering down. And floating up and lowering down. One more time, floating up and lowering down. Now we're going to come up into our upper seeker position with our arms forward. We're going to pause here. We're going to float our right leg into tabletop, float our left leg into tabletop. And then we're just going to open our arms out to the side and then back towards the front. Out to the side and reach. And out. And in. And out. And in. Lower the head down, bring the arms up. Keep your legs in tabletop. Just let your head rock side to side. And then nod the chin to the chest. Float the head up. Arms reach forward. Now we're going to stay where we are with the upper body. Just the legs move. Legs reach out to the high diagonal and back in. Squeeze those legs together nice and tight. They reach and they draw. And reach. And bring it in. And reach. Yep, you can always put your hands behind your head if you need. One more time. And reach. Bring it in. Head comes down. Arms come up to the ceiling. Let your head rock side to side, releasing any tension in the neck and jaw. We're going to come up one more time. Nod the chin to the chest. Floating up. And both things happen together. Arms open, legs reach. And return. And reach and return. 3 more. Exhale. And exhale. One more time. Reach it out. Bring it in. Lower the head down. This time, pull the knees into the chest. And let your knees rock side to side. And then extend one leg down along the ground. Just let that foot come to the ground and slide it out. And then hug that other knee into the chest, opening up the front of the hip of your bottom leg. And then circle the ankle of the foot that's up. And then reverse it. And then let that knee cross the body. Let the arm open out to the side. You can look back at that arm. And as you breathe and exhale, try to allow your shoulders to get heavier into the ground. And then unfold. And let that foot drop to the ground and slide out. Bend the other knee in. Pull the heel in towards the feet and circle that ankle. And then reverse the circle. And then let that knee cross over the body. Let the arm open up. And again, as you exhale, see if you can lift the shoulders, just drop heavier into the ground. And then let the back of the hip get heavier to pull you back to the center. And let that foot drop and slide along the ground. And then let your arms just come down to the mat. And we're going to slide our heel in, one heel in and place that foot on the ground, and then slide the other heel in and place that foot on the ground. tuck your tailbone under and peel your spine up one vertebra at a time. Pelvis lifts. Head is heavy, ribs are heavy. And then breathe in, exhale, roll it down one vertebra at a time. Back of the neck is long as you roll all the way down. Tuck the tailbone under, rolling up. Send the knees forward. Inhale at the top, exhale, rolling down. Back of the neck stays long. One more time like that, peeling up. And rolling down. And we'll peel up and we'll stay up there. Pause at the top, find your stable pelvis, float one leg up and down, other leg up and down. Alternating legs, hips stay level in the middle. If you want a little bit more challenge, you can lift the opposite arm off the ground as well. So our leg and opposite arm lift together and lower together. And make sure you've done the same number on both sides. And then roll down through your spine, one vertebra at a time. Now we're going to lift one leg and lift the pelvis at the same time, but we're going to hinge the pelvis rather than rolling, tucking and rolling, right? So find your neutral spine, neutral pelvis. Keep that neutral spine as you lift one foot. Send the knee out over that standing foot. So I'm sending my knee forward, and then I'm going to sit my hips back down, put my foot down as well. And foot and knee, or foot and pelvis come up together, and back down. And foot and hips come up together, and back down. And I'm thinking of my knee going out over my standing foot. And up. And down. And up. And up. And up. Next time we get to the first side, we're going to stay there. We're going to extend your leg up to the ceiling, flex the foot, and then lower the straight leg down to knee, point the toe, and lift. Flex, down, knee to knee, point and lift. Flex, reach, point and lift. 2, 1. Bend that knee, place the foot back down. Let's sit the hips down as well. We'll pick up the other leg with the hips, extend the leg, flex the foot, lower knee to knee, point and lift. Flex and lower, point and lift. 3 more. And 1. And then bring that leg back down, bend the knee, roll down through your spine. And once your pelvis is heavy, extend your legs out. And then you're going to cross one leg over the other and roll yourself all the way over to your belly. You're going to be in a nice wide X position here. Arms and legs are open. Head is floating up off the ground a couple of inches so that you have a slight extension in your upper spine. So your spine is lifted just a little bit. Belly button is lifting to support your low spine. From here, we're going to go around the world. So we're going to take our right arm up and down, left arm up and down, left leg up and down, right leg up and down. Keep going in this pattern. I want you to feel as you lift your arm that you're stabilizing your shoulder blade on your rib cage, and you're kind of drawing the bottom angle of your rib cage forward along your rib cage, so towards the front of the body. So it's that feeling, almost like that feeling of when you push the ground away, when you're in like your plank or your quadruped position. It's that same muscle, that serratus anterior muscle, it's moving the shoulder blade forward slightly along the rib cage and then stabilizing it there as you lift your arm. For the lower half, you want to stabilize your pelvis. Gently lift the pelvic floor and the abdomen so that you're using your glute to lift your leg and not your low back. Let's reverse the order. So we're going to go back the way we came. And trying to find what needs to stabilize to move the limb. And we'll go around one more time in that direction. And then you're going to lower your body down, lower your head down, keep your cheek on the ground, and just rock hips side to side, releasing any tension. And then come back to that same starting position, wide X, upper back is floating just slightly off the ground. And then think of reaching through your fingertips and your toes, through your head and your tail. Gentle lift of the belly button and anchoring of the pubic bone, and then float everything off the ground, arms, legs, and head, all limbs. And then we'll find our swimming. So paddling opposite arm and leg, it's a little bit of a wide swimming position. Breathing in deeply. Exhaling fully. Breathing in deeply. Exhaling fully. One more breath. Pause at the top. Try to get a little more length through all the limbs. And then lower everything back down. And again, shaking out side to side through your hips. Releasing any tension through the spine. And then bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Sit back into your child's pose. And just let the ribs sway side to side. The ribs sway towards one knee and then sway towards the other knee. You're going to feel what that does to the rest of the spine. Maybe you have a little snaking action through your spine. Imagine your spine is just like seaweed floating around in the ocean. And then pause with your ribs to the right. Send your arms to the right. And then send your ribs to the left, arms to the left. And then send your ribs to the middle, arms to the middle. Tuck your toes under. Lift the knees off the ground. Find your downward dog. And just start to tread through your feet. Getting a calf stretch here. You can kind of pause on one side and send the other heel down towards the ground a little deeper. You did a lot of calf work, so try to stretch out those calves a little. And then you can just gently walk your feet in towards your hands until you can't keep your hands on the ground anymore. Bring the weight into your feet. Let your arms and your head hang. Give your head a nod. And a shake. And then belly button lifts up towards the spine. Feet melt down into the ground. And stack the spine one vertebra at a time. Pelvis over the feet, ribs over the pelvis, head over the ribs. Let your shoulders just hang on top of your rib cage like a set of shoulder pads. You guys Try again. Let me unmute you.
Thank you,
And
Erin.
I don't have any more complications.
Oh, that's fine. Thank you for that. It was a
Yeah.
great.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Are you going back in person or no?
Not right now, no. I'm going to keep doing my Saturday classes online. And then starting in August, I believe I will be doing full-time at my other job. And so I will probably just be doing Saturday classes starting in August. I'll take my Tuesday and my Thursday classes away starting in August.
What about Tuesday duet?
I was say we should talk about that. So once I figure out my schedule, let's talk about what works for you guys.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so virtual for
Yeah.
foreseeable.
Yeah, we're going to stay virtual. Most of the folks that take this class have sort of agreed that that's preferred. And so, so for now, that's what we're going to do.
Okay.
Does that sound okay?
Yeah.
Thank you for that course.
My core just isn't the same, but I'll do it. I mean, this is the
Your
best.
what's not the same?
My core.
Your core. Yeah. Yeah. I know it's hard. It's hard to kind of get deeper into it when you're at home and you don't have somebody standing over you. But we'll do this for now and we'll keep checking in for sure.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Well, everyone.
Yeah. Have a great weekend, everybody. It was nice to see you guys.
Thanks, Erin. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.